going to be so much depth in Boston. They're going to cruise to the Eastern Conference Finals. Here we are. I have never seen a player that we would call a superstar with body language as horrible as the body language I've been seeing from LeBron James the last 5 or 10 games. And you know I'm a big-time LBJ fan. Last night, inbound pass hits the bottom of the backboard when he throws it in. They hit a game-winning three-point shot a couple of games ago. The game wasn't even over. Still time on the clock. LeBron walks to the locker room before the final whistle even goes off. His man wide open for three. Just hands by his side, watches this guy nail a three. Just the body language you would never see from a Michael Jordan or a Kobe Bryant. They would show that kind of body language when the game was over, but not during the game. I almost feel like this guy's giving it up for the season. And I also think it's his fault. Boston, the issue I think Boston has is they thought they'd just come back this season, throw their jersey on the court, and based on what they did last year, people would roll over. It's not the case. You got a lot of guys who are getting used to new roles. I mean, some of the names I mentioned, Scary Terry, Jaylen Brown, those guys were getting big-time minutes last year. Well, now with Hayward being back, with Kyrie Irving being back, their roles and their minutes are diminished. And we're now 20-something games left in the season. They still haven't been able to get together and synchronize and become that powerhouse we thought they were going to be. So that's what I think the issue is. I did not expect what I've seen from these two teams. I didn't think the Lakers would make the Western Conference Finals or anything crazy like that. But I thought a 5 seed, a 6 seed in the West was very possible for the Lakers because of LeBron. And I also thought for the Celtics, top 3 finish. And neither one of those things have happened so far this year.
I'm trying to think where I want to start. Well, I guess where I want to start is with the Lakers. You can talk about the Lakers, talk about the guys that they added, Lance Stevenson, Rondo, some of the younger guys, Lonzo Ball, Kuzma. I mean, they've got some talent there.
I love Kuzma.
Man, Kuzma is awesome.
Never had a Lakers jersey in my life. I actually might order Kyle Kuzma's jersey. I might order that.
But when you talk about the Lakers and you talk about the disarray that they're in right now, they started off doing okay during, beginning of the season, and then they kind of went through a lull. And then, of course, LeBron James got hurt. I think he was out almost, 15 games?
Yeah.
It was 18 games?
15, 18, somewhere around there.
Like that.
Yeah.
So I think that when you saw the team playing without him and how they were garbage. They couldn't beat anybody. I mean, they really could not beat anybody. I think, LeBron James kind of got a little bit disheartened watching that. And then when he came back, yeah, he's playing great. But like you said, his body language just says so much.
It's horrible.
I will say this, though, and I saw the interview with him after the game, on that pass that went off the backboard. He was trying to chuck, I believe he said he was trying to get it to JaVale McGee, and he just kind of tried to chuck it, and he didn't hit the middle of the backboard. He hit the actual foam part on the bottom, which happens, time to time, but still,
I've never seen it in my life.
It shouldn't happen. Let's just put it this way: it shouldn't happen to LeBron James. But here's the biggest thing, and I saw this stat the other day, and I thought it was really interesting. Since Christmas Day win against the Warriors, the Lakers are 4-11 on the road. 4-11 on the road is not going to get you anywhere in the NBA. I mean, you know what I mean. You got so many games where you're playing in hostile environments, and yeah, LeBron James is playing great, and yeah, I like Kuzma, and yeah, I like Ingram, but where's everybody else at? What's everybody else doing? And the other thing is, too, he tried to trade them all. Why do I want to play with you when you want to trade all of us for one player? Do I really want to play with you? Greatest player in the world or not? I don't care. I don't care how great you are. I don't care what you've done personally. I don't care about that. What I care about is we're teammates. And today, you just told me I want to trade all of y'all for this guy over here. All of y'all. The whole team. Honestly, I was kind of wondering, so if they accept this, what the heck are the Lakers going to do? They're not going to have a 15-man roster.
They're going to promote the entire G League team?
I mean, seriously. What are they going to do? They're going to go out to the big three and try to get a couple people back? I mean, it was just, you just talk about the Lakers and everything that is happening, and I think it was just a big hype build-up. I'm not sure if LeBron really exactly thought, when he came to LA that he was going to win a championship, that he was going to make the finals. I don't know if he really thought they had that roster. I think he came here because of, it's the Lakers, it's the organization. I can make a name for myself. I can get away from this guy that barely wins in the finals, and I can get over here, and if I can take this franchise back to the promised land, then all this will be forgotten. I think is honestly what he was thinking. That and, living out in L.A., he wants to
all
get
those businesses he has in his side.
the
The 2 Chainz album just came out on Friday.
Right.
The producer, LeBron James.
Yep.
The shop on HBO.
Yep.
Insert business venture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that had a lot to do with it for him, wanting to become more Hollywood. I guess you can call it what you want to call it, but more Hollywood. Be out there in the eye with all the celebrities.
Yeah. And real quick point, too, what you were saying about the young players. You're right. They're young. I mean, if I'm 20 years old, 22, trying to get myself established in the league, I have the greatest player in the NBA right now on my team. The same guy that, if you remember, season 1, when you fall down, stay on the ground, your brother will pick you up. And now we went from my brother picked me up to I want to trade you. Hell no, I'm not giving you no effort. Die for a loose ball? Screw you, LeBron. Watch extra film? Screw you, LeBron. You didn't even want me here. And if I got potential to be a free agent, it's really screw you. I'm going to go out here, make some points, make some plays to get some tape together so I can make my money. But I'm not going to come out there and put it all on the line for you. And I'm sure LeBron has had conversations, hey, that's not really how it happened. I wouldn't want to hear any of that, man. The damage is done. You did this to the Lakers. You messed up this season. You made the bed. Now you got to lie in it.
Oh, 100%. Now, on the flip side of that, you asked about the Boston Celtics. Boston Celtics. Where do I start? Everyone thought that they would be the number 1 team in the Eastern Conference all year long. They were sold as that at the end of last year. The Boston Celtics will be number 1. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. All right, let's see. How's that going? Whenever you hear something of where somebody says, oh, this is definitely a guarantee, it's not going to happen. And I think everybody kind of just expected them to be there. And I think Kyrie Irving is getting a bit of a taste of his own medicine. If you go back to the way things went down between him and LeBron, how Kyrie wanted to be that guy and wanted to show. And then what did Kyrie came out earlier this year and said something about, everybody here wants to play for themselves, and he was basically saying that the
whole team keeps saying that they're just individuals,
right? They're just individuals. They can't really play. They're not really can't really play together and stuff like that. And I mean they are. And I think a lot of that has to do with when you're building a roster, you have to see who's going to fit in the style of play that we got. You just can't get an all-star. Well, I guess you can if you're the Warriors, but you just can't get a bunch of all-stars, put them on a team, and have them play great together. You know what I mean? They have to be compatible. They have to be, they have to have some type of chemistry. You're not just going to be great. I mean, you look at when Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and LeBron James came together. They struggled when they first came together because
you also got to be selfless.
That's the biggest thing I'm talking about. You got to be selfless, and you talk about that team. And I mean, who really is the alpha male, the superstar on that team? It's Kyrie Irving. It's hands down Kyrie Irving. He's won championships. He's been in all-star games. I mean, he's awesome. Now the young guys, Brown, Tatum, Marcus Smart, who I love. I love the tenacity that he plays with. I mean, he plays defense. He plays everything. And he can knock down some big shots, too. But those guys, I just don't think they realize what they have with Kyrie Irving. They need to, kind of listen to him. Just, take some information from him. Learn from him. And I think they're just trying to say, we know what we're doing. We're good. Our talent is good enough to get us by. And talent's not enough to get you by in the NBA. It's definitely not. You got to be a student of the game. Like you were mentioning, when you get in the playoffs, you get a 7-game series. They know what your tendencies are.
Yeah,
they know
absolutely.
how many times you go to the left and how many times you go to the right. They know when you make this move, every time you make this move, you do a step-back jumper. They see that. They watch that. They watch the film. And when they see that enough, they make adjustments. I mean, that's, it's just like any sport. The coach that makes the most adjustments at halftime or throughout the game is usually the team that wins.
Speaking of coaches, no, I'm just asking
Go ahead.
Your opinion.
No, go ahead.
Brad Stevens. I mean, this was the golden child. Oh, he's one of the greatest young minds in the NBA, and he's going to transform the Boston Celtics to the Red Auerbach days. And I don't hear anybody saying anything about Brad Stevens. He has this great roster with all the names we've been mentioning, and this season they've struggled a little bit. And I'm definitely not saying the guy deserves to get fired. If I'm the Lakers, Luke Walton should have walked home last night. But anyway. At what point do you put some of this on Brad Stevens, or do you think it's all on the players, not on Brad?
I think that you have to. You definitely have to put some on him as well, because he's got to be the one to ring in the players and like, hey, look, you're good. Hey, look, you're good. Guess what? If you play well together, the team can be good. And the team is what wins championships. And the team is what wins basketball games. One player doesn't win basketball games. Otherwise, the Los Angeles Lakers would be undefeated right now. They have the greatest player in the world on their team. You know, you just can't. You can't have that mentality and win in the NBA. It's never going to happen. It never has happened. You even look at the Houston Rockets. I mean, clearly James Harden is their number one player. Clearly he's going to jack up shot after shot after shot. Will that work in the playoffs? That's still to be seen yet. But that team, like kind of they've learned to live with that, though. You know, they've learned to change their roles, like you said.
Yeah.
You have to be adjust. You have to adjust.
And people say D'Antoni's not a good coach. I beg to differ. But anyway, continue.
I think he's an awesome coach. You know, year after year, he proves that he can get guys, to the playoffs and make adjustments and stuff. So, but going back to the Celtics, man, you just talking about a team that, on paper, there's no reason why they shouldn't be top 2, top 3 in the Eastern Conference, and they're just stuck on that me mentality, and until they get out of it, they're going to be right where they are, which they're still, I think, 5th? Yeah, they're 5th in the Eastern Conference, so they're not terrible. We're not talking about a team that, is 5 games out of the playoffs, but we're talking about a team that we had high expectations for, and we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, they're talking about getting Anthony Davis, but to do that, they would have to get rid of Kyrie Irving or restructure his deal or something, I think, is what I understand. So we'll see what happens. I know that they spent some money on Gordon Hayward, and for that to not pan out, I think is a major part, because I think they were expecting big things out of him, and he just hasn't delivered yet.
Yeah, the one silver lining I'll say with him is maybe this is the season that he recovers. Like, maybe obviously he's out there playing, but maybe this is the season where Gordon Hayward gets his groove back, gets his legs back, and maybe next year he goes back to that 20-point dog that we saw at Utah. And to get rid of him and then have him do it somewhere else, that's a move the Wizards would make. Not the Boston Celtics. I just speak the truth, man.
Oh my gosh!
Hey, before we get out of here, you got any odds and ends or things you wanted to hit on before we get out of here, Pat?
No, I think we kind of went over it all. Like I said, the main thing, of course, going over that kind of stuff was just of course, LeBron James on his scoring and assists and top 10. But other than that, I think we hit on everything else. I'm interested to see this NBA 2K League stuff happening. With the draft on Tuesday. Trust me, the whole time we've been talking, that's really what I've been thinking about.
I'm telling you, man, it's pretty interesting.
I've been stuck on it. You put this little thing in the back of my mind, and that's all I've been thinking about. So
when I talked to the PR person from the District Gaming, and she said, imagine going from being an Amazon box packer to the starting point guard of a professional video game team, making a salary, traveling,
living in a house together.
Yeah, being a certified Twitter account. I mean, that's a lot to come. Oh, yeah, media interviews you've never been trained for. That's a lot. It's also got to be really, really cool. So I'm looking forward to getting a chance to talk to some of these guys, get some FaceTime. But a fantastic show, great conversation, talking about the East, talking about the Lakers and Celtics, 2 teams you had real high expectations for. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, at Buckets and Dimes. If you can't catch the show on Spreaker, we're everywhere now. Spotify, Google Play, iTunes. Just search Buckets and Dimes. As always, I am Joe Cardoza. He's Patrick Hillwig. Until next week, peace.